Okay, public participation on non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on any subject that does not appear on tonight's agenda for action. It's limited to 30 minutes, and each speaker is afforded 3 minutes to address the mayor and council.
Scott Martin, president of the Police Officers Association for Redondo Beach. Following last council meeting, we were given Mr. Workman's Monday morning message, and it was he had us go to that council video and view public safety and the chief's comments about the state of the department.
Could you go to the next one? You know, when people talk about crime in Redondo Beach, there's a danger for me as the chief of police to stand here and to make this statement, but I'm going to make it. Redondo Beach is a safe place to live. And
I went to that, I viewed it, and I made notes, and I thought it was important enough for me to discuss an officer's perspective of the state of the department and the impact of 84 officers on the city of Redondo Beach. I'm a 17-year veteran, 13 years with Redondo Beach. When I started, it was 106 officers. Today, it's 84. What does that mean for public safety and the quality of life of the citizens of Redondo Beach? Well, after the last council meeting.
Improving the quality of life. When officers start here in Redondo Beach and they ask them, you know, what are you getting into by coming to Redondo Beach to work as a police officer? They tell them, if you're not willing to address quality of life issues and go to those calls, and we joke about some of them, you know, people complain about the buoy, about the bell, you know, clanging on the buoy. They complain sometimes about the noise of the foghorn. We have had complaints about the seals. Can't you do something about silencing the seals out on the barge? Parrots is another one. Nightingales at night, birds. We get complaints in animal control that can't we do something about birds that are making noise late at night? It's, you know, it's hard to sleep. I think sometimes are we grateful that that's the kind of community that we live in, where our concerns are these quality of life issues. Now, if you're a person that is having a problem with a barking dog, or you're having a problem with wind chimes at a neighbor's house, when those things happen, yes, they have a significant effect on us. But this is the essence of what we do in Redondo Beach: is customer service, and it's listening to people, and it's trying to solve their problems. And so our field training officers often tell.
Well, after the last council meeting, Quality Seafood, which is a landmark business in our city, was hit. It took officers an hour and 20 minutes to get there because we just didn't have the manpower to deal with it. The burglars sat in that business for 20 minutes. Since we've had a reduction in staff, 4 murders have taken place. Can we discount the fact that
there's an amazing perception about crime that crime comes from that element or those people. And one of the greatest ironies that I've seen in my tenure on the council is that the major violent crimes have come from residents on resident. It's been resident on resident crime. And we talked about the recent murders, and then there was the one 5 years ago, Corey. Those are residents, not even just South Bay residents. It's not even they came from Torrance. This is a Redondo Beach resident and his girlfriend and mom. And then in Corey's case, it was a nearby neighbor. So I don't know what the police could have done any differently to have stopped any of those.
Of course, we could find that there might not be a correlation, but I think we can also argue that there is a correlation. We had 2 teenagers stabbed at the mall. We've also had 3 shifts cut at the mall. We've also cut funding off to the mall for the cost share program. Is there a correlation?
Just because there are a number of people in the community that want to say, well, this robbery happened, or the stabbing happened at the Galleria. The reality of Los Angeles County is that we live in a mobile community. So there are nice people that have cars, and there are not so nice people that have cars. And so the ability for people to travel, to come here, is always present.
Is there a correlation? Arguments can be given on both sides. I'm here to tell you that as an officer, I think there is a correlation. I think there's a correlation that when you reduce motors, when you reduce CBOs, when you reduce SROs, which is our school resource officers, you make the city more vulnerable. Traffic is one of our major
On
concerns.
traffic sites, are they up or down now with the, we have fewer motors in the streets, so are we,
We have fewer citations written for traffic infractions now than in the past.
okay, like a lot?
Yes.
Does that substantially affect our budget with fewer tickets?
No, because I don't think that it does it as much as people would think, because the amount that we receive is set by the penal code, and it's 16%.
That's
and
right.
I believe that it's 16% on the base fee, which is, most traffic tickets are $50 or $100 maximum. So we get either $8 or $16. When you get a stop sign ticket for $450, everything goes to the state, and it goes for.
And that's just unacceptable. So I'm here to just talk to you and make you aware that as a police officer, and I'm speaking for my members, my partners, we need more officers on the streets. It's not
but
just
I think it's important in an election year to make sure that the facts are out, and that what you have up there is essential patrol services are fully staffed. And no one is saying that's great, that's good enough, and we're happy with that. But I am happy that you've been able to do what you do with the resources you've had. No questions.
To qualify one quick thing, we have lucrative vacation, holiday, we do have furlough now. So there are days where we have fewer officers, but it has always been that way. There have always been officers that are injured on duty that have either small or extended times, and we deal with it. We hire each day based on what we believe is going to be the exposure of calls for service per day. And any sergeant has the ability to hire overtime any day if they feel that they need it.
Okay.
Streets.
Thank you.
It's not just a hot ticket item during election season. It is now. I wouldn't be talking about this 4 years ago. In fact, we didn't get up here and talk about it 4 years ago. We're talking about it now because 4 years ago we didn't have 84 officers. Today we do. My partners in my profession are telling us that this is not the most desirable city to come work for. When you have only 15 lateral officers apply for positions here, and to the north we have a city where there's over 400, I think there is proportional
retirement benefit per year worked. How is that affecting lateral transfers? Because when we look to go get experienced officers, my understanding is it's really hard to attract them.
And that is true. Our captains go to a monthly commanders meeting, and every department that they talk to in the South Bay is having problems getting lateral officers, with maybe one or two exceptions. And those exceptions are, in the past, have been El Segundo and Santa Monica, both of which have lifetime medical, which means it's not lifetime medical to 65 in Medicare, it's lifetime medical to the grave. And now the question becomes, is that sustainable? And if you looked at a recent LA Daily News or LA Times article, Santa Monica is facing, if they don't make changes in their pension program, I believe they said they are facing an $18 million deficit within the next 6 years. They have a $43 million outstanding debt to the county for redevelopment. So the question will be, is that if Santa Monica's economics change, will it continue to be able to offer that, and will the playing field be leveled even better, because cities can't sustain that type of interminable benefit for medical.
We have a city where there's over 400. I think there is proportionately something wrong. And that's what I just wanted to bring to light to you guys, and I wanted to tell you that the guys that are working for you, we're concerned.
Okay. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Okay, time for one last speaker. All right, good evening.
Again, Council, good evening. My name is Eric Coleman. Roughly half of the city's budget, $41 million, falls under the somewhat vague column of public safety. In the last 15 years, crime has dropped significantly. Violent crime is down 16%. Property crime is down 50%, as the chief stated last week. This is page 179 from the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report 2011. It shows how over the span of the last 9 fiscal years, basically all government department spending has remained the same. Housing and Community Development, $12 million in 2003, $12 million in 2011. Cultural Services, $6 million in 2003, $6 million in 2011. Public Works, $9 million in 2003, $9 million in 2011. 2011, and then we get to this column of public safety. Now, public safety funding has gone from $28 million in 2003 to $41 million in 2011, an increase of over 40%, despite the worst recession since the Great Depression. And at the same time, virtually all government funding went unchanged. Now, to be fair, the interest on the city's debt did see a dramatic decrease. However, the principal on that debt doubled. This whole issue comes down to staffing. Almost all departments have had to have cuts. Housing and community development has gone from 44 employees to 31, a 25% reduction in personnel. Cultural services has gone from 50 employees to 37, a 25% reduction. Public safety, and this is the issue, has gone from 109 to 96 employees by 2011, a reduction of between 11 and 12%. Now, the one bright spot in all this is public works during that same period has managed to hire 12 new people, going from 88 employees in 2002 to 100 employees in 2011, with significantly less money than this somewhat mysterious column public safety. What's also interesting is that they've had to do, I'm almost done, they've had to do more with less. For instance, mass transit has not seen a genuine increase in funding despite the number of bus boardings quadrupling from 90,000 in 2002 to just shy of 400,000 by 2011. Now, under the public safety column, there have been 3,135 physical arrests in 2002 and 2,500 arrests in 2011. Now, that's a 19% reduction in physical arrests. So the monies that have been allotted to the public safety industrial complex have gone from $28 million to $41.5 million, an increase of over 40%. And we've been talking about privatizing ambulance services. No new police stations or fire stations have been built. In fact, the substation on the pier closed.
All right,
and for that matter, no new libraries, parks, or community centers have been built. So where did that money go? Did it vanish?
Thanks very much. Okay. All right, we're done with non-agenda items. So we are on section K. This is a discussion and possible action regarding consideration of a medical insurance brokerage and consulting agreement with Keenan and Associates and various side letters. And Mr. Workman, good evening.
Mayor and members of the City Council, I'm pleased to announce tonight that the city and the 6 employee associations have reached agreement on a side letter that would provide the opportunity for us to go back into the market with a opportunity to get additional quotes for quality health care, affordable health care with additional options.